Okay, guys. Good to see you again after the whole our class mid exam, and then right now. So as I said, today is whole the day we start the whole new parts, which is chapter two, second chapter, production and cost and perfect competition. So for this week, we will start this chapter of the name, the short run cost. So we have to look over the many things for short run competition and short run equilibrium. So, but as the first step for the investigating this short run concept, we will start the short run cost as the very beginning of the whole short run sessions. So today, we will talk about all of the cost, right? So right now, actually right now, I'm going to talk about cost curves. So if there's one complaint about learning economics, it will be cost curves. I mean, no one get excited about the cost curves, right? So they might not be exciting, but cost curves are super essential. So now, someday you might own a business, and it is important to understand the cost of production. And calculating your cost is going to help you figure out your profit, but it also helps you figure out how many units to produce. And you will be doing these calculations for cost and drawing the cost curves a whole lot in the economics. So, although it seems kind of bland, it is time to get excited about the cost, right? So let's go over the different types of cost. Okay, so let's start it. So here's the context of today. So we will gonna figure out the types of cost, and after that, right after that, we will calculate the whole cost. Okay. So Uh, let's figure it out the types of cost. So every company has two different type of cost, as I said before the former classes, fixed cost and variable cost. So the fixed cost, the fixed costs are the costs that don't change with the amount produced. So imagine that, like, if you're in a pizza company, if you're a pizza company, the oven, okay, you only have one. It's fixed resources. So it doesn't matter how many pizzas produced, you still have to pay for the one oven. Okay. So another example might be the manager's salary, right? You still need a manager whether you produce one unit or 1,000 units. So so the manager's salary is a fixed cost. Okay. So the variable cost do change with amount produced. So if you produce more output, you're going to need more resources. So raw materials, labor, electricity are all examples of variable resources, and that is the variable cost. Okay? Right? So let's move on to next. So if there's only two costs, which is fixed cost and variable cost in this world, then the total cost must be fixed plus variable cost, right? And there's also the concept of marginal cost. So marginal cost is the additional cost of producing one more output. So if you're in pizza restaurant it is the cost of producing one additional pizza, right? So it is the change. It is the change in cost divided by change in output. Okay. So now you understand these whole type of cost. There's total fixed cost, total variable cost, and total cost and total cost and marginal cost, right? So now let's see if you can calculate them on your own. Okay? Right? All right. So right here, I have the cost for a given firm. Okay? Imagine this is the chart of cost by the given firm. So we have zero output. Imagine we have zero output. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 units that they could produce. Okay. So I've also given you the variable cost, and the fixed cost. Okay. Fixed cost producing no output. So I want you to copy this chart on your piece of paper or what and finish off these columns, which means fixed, total, and marginal. All right? So calculate the fixed cost and total cost and the marginal cost. Okay? So I want you to pause the video and then do those calculations and I will go over the answers. Right? Okay, let's start. Okay, so what is the fixed cost of producing one unit? Well, it's 10, right? $10. It's obviously $10. So actually, for two units, it's $10. And 3 units, it's also $10. So why? Because it's fixed. Okay? It doesn't matter how many units produce. You still pay $10. It's fixed cost. Okay? And the total cost is the variable plus fixed cost. Okay? It is the variable cost plus fixed cost is same as the total cost. So when you produce nothing, you still have a total cost of $10 because the variable cost is 0 and fixed cost is $10. So for the calculation to sum of these two price, the total cost will be $10, right? So remember that is because you have to pay that fixed cost for one unit. Fixed cost for one unit, it is $20. Okay? And for 2 units, it is $27. Then 35, 50, 17, and finally 120, right? So, and it is really that simple. Okay? Variable cost plus fixed cost, variable cost plus fixed cost is equals total cost, right? So 10 plus 10 is 10 plus 10 is 20. 17 plus 10 is 27, and 25 plus 10 is 35, and 40 plus 10 is 50, and 60 plus 10 is 70, and 110 and 110 plus 10 is 120, right? Okay, it's just simple calculations. And the marginal cost is the change in total cost from producing an additional output. So if the total cost of producing nothing is $10, okay? And the total cost producing 1 unit is $20. The additional cost of that first unit must be 10. Okay, because it is additional cost, right? Since the total cost of 2 units is 27, the additional cost of that second unit, okay, additional cost from the 1 output to 2 output will be 7. Okay, so the additional cost of that second unit must be an additional $7. So again, marginal cost is the change in total cost divided by the change in output. Okay? So it is the extra fit is the 8 and 15 and 20 and 50, right? So now that you can calculate these whole costs, okay? Let's calculate let's calculate the per unit cost, right? The per unit cost, okay? So there is average variable cost and average fixed cost and average total cost, right? So the average variable cost is the total uh, variable cost divided by the quantity, okay? And average fixed cost is the fixed cost, okay? Average fixed cost is the fixed cost divided by the quantity. And the average total cost is the total cost divided by quantity, okay? So most of the time when you see these, you're going to see them by these acronyms, right? So like ABC or AFC, AVC or AFC or ATC. So you guys gotta get used to these kind of acronyms, right? Okay. So now, okay, let's go see if you can actually use those equations and calculate the average cost curve. Okay, I want you to calculate the average total cost of 6 units. Okay, average total cost of 6 units and the average fixed cost of 2 units, right? And calculate and average total cost of 4 units and calculate, and after this calculate all three, I want you calculate the average variable and average variable and average fixed and average total cost for 5 units. Okay, average variable, average fixed, average total cost for 5 units. Okay, after you calculate these all three, right? So, okay, so go back to your paper and number 1 through 7 and make sure to calculate each one of these. Okay, so I want you to pause the video again and I will, after your calculation, I will go over them, right? Okay, so let's calculate. Okay, so all right, so the average total cost of 6 unit, average total cost of 6 unit is $20. Okay, that's because the total cost is 120 and we're producing 6 unit. Okay, so how much did each one cost on average? Well, it is $20. Okay. And the average fixed cost of 2 units is $5, right? So it is the $10. It is the $10 fixed cost divided by 2 units. So that gives us the $5, okay, for average fixed cost of 2 units, okay? And the average variable cost of 4 unit is $40 variable cost. And total variable cost divided by 4 units that we produce, okay? So it is going to be $10, right? Again, the average variable cost of 4 units is $40 variable cost. So total variable cost divided by these 4 units will be $10, okay? So it will be going to be $10, and the average total cost of one unit is 20. It's obvious thing. So if one unit cost of a total of 20, then on average that one unit cost it's $20, right? So now let's take a step back and find out something you might not have noticed first time around, right? So notice that the average variable cost plus average fixed cost, average variable cost plus average fixed cost is equals the average total cost, okay? As I said, the average variable cost plus average fixed cost is also same as average total cost, right? For example, for 5 units, okay, for 5 units, the average variable cost was $12, right? And the average fixed cost was $2, okay? And the average total cost was $14. So 12 plus 2 equals 14, right? So that's how it is. So for every single one of these average one so for every single one of these, the average variable cost plus average variable cost plus average fixed cost equals the average total cost. So actually, it is not that bad, okay? So it is not that bad. You guys can now, for now, you guys can kind of like these cost curves. So the next thing you're going to do is going to take all these costs from this chart and you're going to put it on a graph like this. It is the thing that we will learn the next week. So to learn more about this graph and to find out how to use it, you gotta watch the next video, right? Okay, so here's all the things that I wanna I wanna make you guys to learn about. And it is quite short because there are quite a lot of calculation for this week. So I want you to review this whole calculation and I want you to make you guys to calculate these whole equations by your own hands for this week. Then it will be take quite many time, right? Then after the short break, we will going to look over the today's pop-up quiz. Okay? Right?